This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all, welcome back to Isha Training Solutions for another demo session on performance testing using NeoLoad. So in the previous session, we have just discussed on what are we going to gain from this course, what are the course content, what are the activities that we have done in the previous batch, what are the uh, topics that we would discuss in terms of scripting, user path, or under design, setting up scenario, user scenario, understanding different types of performance testing and execution and results analysis, and so on, right? So I would like to quickly recap on what we had done in the previous project, so that this also sets. I think some of the new folks have joined. I think they haven't seen that. So these many scripts we will be developing, and each scripts are of uh, unique scripts. There are no redundant scripts that we see. So there is unauthenticated, authenticated. There is an end-to-end flow, uh, user creation, development, automating in creating the test data, how a performance, uh, while in performance, how we can create test data. There is different types of correlations, right? Autocorrelation, manual correlation, automatic configuration, advanced correlation, randomization. Some of them from the variables, uh, then assertions, which is validation, and then some of the advanced concepts like loop, while loop, try catch, JavaScript, rendezvous. All of them we will be discussing. From the population, we'll be creating different populations, and uh, also with the monitors, and we will be designing different types of scenarios here. These are the user scenarios. User scenarios can also be called as different types of performance testing. These many scenarios we will be creating. Then we will also do some executions. So some of them we can see it right here. So there are, I think there is some bug with the results. So we, yes, execute with errors, without errors. So we will try to compare it. We will also learn about this results manager, right, and its features, maybe generating a report, changing the statistics, using applying filters, importing, comparison, all of this will, it is included in the as a part of this course. Okay, so we will proceed from this. So that's a short recap. So let me open up the PPT. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we're just getting started with the introduction. Okay, uh, uh, so let's start. So performance testing, right? So why performance testing? uh, to determine the performance of the application under load, right? Under load, this could be different, right? Based on the business, based on the requirement, this under load, this factor would change. And also that different types of scenarios which we'll be discussing, right? Again, that would change, because a different business has different nature, correct? See, for example, if we look at a restaurant business, right? How does a restaurant business function? They will be having some peak hours, and then there is no traffic. For example, maybe during this breakfast time, 7 to 10 could be a peak hour. After that, there won't be any major customers, right? Similarly, when this lunchtime happens, maybe 12:30 or 1 to 3 around, this is the uh, peak hours, and rest the others are maybe after 3:30 to evening 5. There is no major customers over there. Again, there is maybe evening snacks or coffee, tea, and this kind of maybe some customers are walking in for it. And of course, dinner could be a little longer. Maybe it starts from 7, 7:30, and it may goes up to 10, right? So this is from the real life restaurant business perspective, right? We will be also learning about different analogies, different applications, and how their nature of their business, uh, and what all from the performance perspective, what we have to think through, and all of those will also be learning. So this is just a introduction for it. Okay. Why performance testing, right? Why is it? And especially at this point of time, right, just after the pandemic, I mean, it's still uh, the pandemic is going on. I think the recent news is there is one more variant, but if we see this, right, this performance industry has has grown up at least 3x or 4 times, uh, just just after this 2020 pandemic times, because more and more users have started using, they are spending their time online, right? Because of that, there is a lot of focus that is coming under performance, because most of the businesses are going online, and this has become a core part about their performance. What, let's see, like what decides this, right? So if the business doesn't have a good performance, right, so let's say I'm opening amazon.com or amazon.in, which is a popular e-commerce website in India. So if that doesn't load within like 5 seconds or 10 seconds of my time, within that time, right, what I'll probably do is I'll maybe go to flipkart.com, right? So there is a loss of opportunity. So whenever there is a loss of opportunity, then it is turned transitioned into a loss of business, right? Because if the website doesn't load, then definitely the customer would be discouraged to visit again, and due to slowness or due to some other performance issue. There are various other things also, like performance from the user experience perspective, but we will be discussing those like as we progress. But the core part is, if the opportunity is lost, then the business is going to lose its customer, right? So that's a opportunity lost over there. Then faster the website, more the revenue, right? It's very obvious. um, so whenever our user experience, the performance is really good, and things are going really smooth, right? So of course there is an opportunity gets created of getting more revenue over there, right? Most importantly, these are the uh, next step, right? That is scalability, stability, and robustness. Scalability, a business which can scale, right, to a scalability. So the setting up could be a base. After the set, after establishing the fundamentals, scalability should be also be considered, right? So if we look at it, uh, Amazon, right, maybe in 2000s, um, they were getting million orders, right, monthly. Now Amazon gets a million orders every minute. This is the scale that we are talking about. Okay, so it is like 100 times, 1000 times. So that many users have come, and they are regularly visiting the site, and they are making the orders, uh, and so the business is able to scale. Okay. Stability. So how long the system can work stable, and also robustness, right? Without, so robustness also comes a lot of other aspects also checked, like integrity, security, and various other things. But within this, we can conclude that a performance is a core part which determines how the business will do uh, in near future. Okay, so reducing the opportunity cost, that is loss of business, making the business more available and faster with good user experience, and then with a support of scaling and looking at the stability and the robustness. Okay, so there are some of the performance testing types I would just like to casually look at it, right? Because whenever performance testing, right, it is not one type of testing. There are different types are also involved, right? So let's look at it. Like, so load test, which is a application under peak load. Okay, load test is almost synonymous to performance test. If somebody is saying performance test, most likely they are referring to the load test. Okay, stress test is understanding or finding the future expected user load of the application. Soak test, this is the kind of test which is used to determine the stability of the system. It can also be called as endurance test. Okay, let's look at how we can install NeoLoad. I have already installed it, so what I will do is I will just uninstall. Okay, I'm just going to this add or remove programs. It is best we uninstall the existing NeoLoad version. Okay, and then upgrade it or install the newer version. There could be some circumstance, right, where we would need to manage two or three different versions of NeoLoad, so that due to some requirements, right, or some specific client requirements, let's say that way. In that case, it is good to identify these NeoLoad versions individually, separately. The risk installing multiple versions in the same system is there is a possibility that the trust certificate, right, that doesn't gets properly applied. Fine, let's see how we can so I'm just going to tricentis.com. Okay, where you can download NeoLoad. So we can just go to this product and you can click on this Tricentis NeoLoad. So here you can see this free trial. Okay, clicking on this brings up this page. Okay, here you can, what is it?
Sir,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Can you be a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit slow?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Sure, definitely. So what I'm trying to do is I was already having NeoLoad installed, so I have uninstalled it using this add or remove tool. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm so I need this tool to be downloaded. So I've just gone to this tricentis.com, and here there is this products. So under this products, you can find this Tricentis NeoLoad. Tricentis recently acquired NeoLoad or Neotis. Neotis is the company that developed NeoLoad. Now this has been acquired by Tricentis. You can also go to neotis.com. See, uh, again, so you can see this, right? Neotis, a Tricentis company. This got changed, and you can also navigate like by clicking on this try NeoLoad, and this will again come redirect you to this same web page. So if I'm just clicking free trial, usually we will get an option to sign up. So I'm just looking, so there are so by clicking on this, right, different versions, You can find, so this will directly go to this page where we can download the NeoLoad. So there are three versions or four versions, right? Based on the operating system that we are using, you can simply click on this version and download it. Okay. There are previous versions. If anybody has any specific requirements, as I said, due to some license limitations or maybe support related, right? They can also visit these these versions and then download it. Okay. So I already, so my system is Windows and it's on 64 bits. I've already downloaded this version, but before that I would also like to, so I'm not sure, there would be some, one moment, this will allow us to sign up. Okay. Yes, so maybe I'm using some plugins to block some of this, maybe this is being considered as some ads, so it got blocked. But so how anybody can sign up for this, right? So you can just simply go here, okay, and provide your email and your information right here, and then you can just simply say like, goal for this trial is just to be practicing or learning something like this, and then request a trial. So your account would be created, and once your account gets created, you have to go into that account, login, and you will be able to find the license. Okay. So I have already downloaded this version. Okay. So what I'll do is I will just launch this. This is the latest version. Okay. So we'll be learning the latest version. So it is just getting extracted. This might take a while, but meanwhile, if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to ask. You can also use the chat box. So we will do both. I will answer your queries, and parallelly we'll also install NeoLoad the system. So any queries? Anybody has any clarification? Anything on this course, or I would like to address? Okay, so to install this, you just have to click on next. Okay, so clicking on next site. So it is good to select this option. Okay, unless if you are installing in NeoLoad in a different environment, or to create a distributed load, the other options can be selected, but this is the usual recommended option, so it's best to install with controller always. Okay, can just set up to perform. Okay, this can be enabled. Okay, then go ahead and then install your desired location. It is best to install it in the default location itself. Also, uh, both ensure that these both options are checked. Okay, now this would take time. If somebody wants to ask something, somebody unmuted themselves, but okay. Yes, yes, Sunil.
Yesterday I told right, I already installed the NeoLoad, but I'm getting errors like that.
Yes. So what we'll do is we will just complete this installation. Okay.
Okay.
And then I will show on this migration part. So once that is done, I will make you a presenter. We can troubleshoot, we can check.
Okay. In the sign up, before downloading the file, we have to get some details like email like that. So in
Sorry,
that particular so before the sign up downloading,
your voice is not very clear. It is kind of distorted. If you can
okay,
speak near the
okay.
microphone. Uh,
1 second. No, it's
okay.
okay. So before downloading the tool, so we have to give some details like mail ID, personal details. So in that particular area, personal mail ID is not accepting. So it's asking company mail
Yes,
ID.
correct. So in the sign up, it's a good point. Yeah, thanks for highlighting that. So here, what happens if we try to, so let's say like I'm just providing my email. Okay. If I'm providing my email, these are public emails, public domains. Okay. This public domains is not accepted. This is some kind of a restriction that Tricentis has brought very recently. So we need a office email or a different email, a business email, right? So that's the requirement here. So we'll be able to sign up only with the uh, business email.
Otherwise, you can download directly, right? You come down here, you can download the
Yes,
directly
after
with
you sign up with the business email, you can do it.
Without sign up also we can direct download, right?
without
From
sign up, you
NeoLoad.
can download it.
Yeah,
Yes,
that I
correct. You can download it. Only thing is, you will not be having license key. So this
Okay.
sign up is for
Okay.
trial, like you get it right.
okay.
For 30
Okay.
days license, it is required, and license is required only for execution. Okay. If you
Okay.
are if your goal is to learn about scripting and maybe setting up the scenario, it is not required. But if you also want to do some executions and practice something, then you would need the license, the 30 days license. But most likely, if you are working with NeoLoad itself in your um, project, I think that would be already sorted. Okay. So I have previously, so the previous project was developed with the previous version. Okay. So we can just simply clicking on this. This will pop up this. We will be getting this pop up. Okay. So what it's saying is the previous project, right? It was created with the previous version, and the current version is this 8.1. Okay, 8.1. So this is going to migrate it or upgrade it. Okay. Once any projects get upgraded to the latest version, okay, we cannot use those projects in our lower versions. Okay, so it is very important that we have one more copy in case if we are doing this migration or upgrading. Okay, just as a backup. Once we are very sure that the previous version is not needed, then we can simply discard it. So the limitation is once it gets migrated, okay, the it will no longer work with the previous older versions. So now since I have migrated it, right, although I don't have any major uh, files here, but although I have migrated it, so even if I have a older version installed in my system, I'll not be able to use that to open this project. Okay, this will again throw an error saying like minimum it needs 8.1. So just like let's look at it. So I'm having this 8.1.1. Okay, fine. Okay, let's continue. So in the previous session, what we did is we have just recorded a simple uh, demo workflow, right? Today we will do another simple workflow which has an authentication transaction. Okay, so let's quickly, without any ado, let's go into this recording. So to start a recording, right, you can just click on this. Okay, start recording. Okay, this will bring up this recording wizard. Okay, I can provide uh, the name of the script, and here start client means any um, what do we say, it is just referring to the web browser. Okay, the client is simply referred to the browser, or sometimes it's even the end user. Okay, so I'm going to use Internet Explorer, and before I launch this Internet Explorer instance, I'm also deleting the cookies and clearing the cache. This two options also is needed, it is required. Okay, and I'm just clicking on OK. So this will open up the recording bar. That's what we are seeing currently, and also an instance of Internet Explorer. So what will happen now, this NeoLoad has created a proxy server. Okay, if you see this, right, so it's in the recorder, and there is a port which 8090 is being used. So whatever that gets recorded, whatever the network traffic that goes in with this Internet Explorer instance, this simply gets recorded by NeoLoad, and then um, so recording means it just has information on both request and its response, and then its subsequent requests and its corresponding responses. That's all. Okay, so let's launch. So I'm just providing the transaction name right here. Okay, so launch, then I'm launching. So since this is my recently launched URL, right, so I'm able to see it here. Can also simply paste it in the address bar. Make sure we remove any other information. Okay, and then just clicking on this launching. Okay, so we can ignore this and just click on this go on the web page. So I have launched it. Okay, now sign in. I think I need to create a user account. I think I must have missed it. Let me check if the previous. Okay, so what is happening is during the recording we won't be able to use anything else. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just stop this recording. We will do the recording once again. So I will close these instances not required. I'll just close this also, and then I will just delete it. It's not required. Okay, sign in. I just want to validate. But new one, we created this user in our previous. Okay, did not work. Let me try another with another user. Okay, it did not work either. And we will register it. Okay, so I'll just say JPET user using all user ID and password as JPET user. I'm just going to provide a random name, some test information, something like this. CP, sorry, I think let's see. Then let's try. I'm clicking on save account information. I think yeah, it got created. So let's verify this using JPEG user as my login. Okay, I have logged in. So this is working. So let's go back to the recording. So to start the recording, can just click on this button, or there is this start recording button here also. So now I will provide this as auth jpet. Rest other settings I'll just leave it as it is. So I'm going to launch. I will say launch. I'm using this link directly to launch this. So sign in, just writing this transaction name here. Then I provide the username and password. So let's say click on login. I have logged in and I'm just simply going to sign out. Okay, it's just a simple login logout workflow. Just signing out, and then after this, I'm stopping the recording. Okay, so this is the post recording wizard. So these are the hosts that got recorded. So this is the only. This will not be the case with the real-time applications. There will be too many hosts, like some maybe gstatic, Facebook, social handles, Twitter, uh, Google APIs. Many things would also gets recorded along with it. Maybe if there are some weather related, that also gets recorded. So we have to be so sure on which host that we need, that are in scope. Only those needs to be selected here. Rest other things has to be unchecked. We will just skip this step for now. Okay, use recorded think time. We'll just give this step also. Okay, I think I have just gone too fast. Fine. So this is used to identify, like, for any generic dynamic parameters, or maybe if we have some framework rules, we it will just draw information from there, and then it will try to correlate. This is like autocorrelation. Okay, but for now we will skip this step. And then this is for uh, whether if the by default whatever the recorded think times that needs to be there. By default we can just use recorded think time and then click next. And form authentication means there is some kind of authentication transaction that is involved in this recording, right? So in the previous session, when we recorded this jpeg demo, this page will not appear because there were no authenticated authentication transactions. Okay, since there are some authentication transactions in this workflow, so this page is opened up. So even the post recording wizard is a little dynamic. So I'm just clicking on finish. So these are the transactions that is involved, right? Launch, sign in, clicking on logging in, login, and then sign out. So I'm just expanding this launch page. So this is the main request. As we have seen in the previous session, we have looked at the developer tool as well, right? So where we are logging in. Okay, if we look at this specific request, right, we have provided the username and password. The password got um, uh, created as a new variable. So whenever there's a password comes in during the recording, NeoLoad creates this auto password. Okay, so this will hide the information. Okay, but we can see the password as Jmeter user. Okay, just for simplistic purpose for now, I will just simply hard code it. However, hard coding is not recommended, but just since it's a demo and we are just starting, okay, it is okay so that we can easily understand. So if we see this, right, these two values we have provided, right, during the recording when we were browsing it. If we look at these two values we did not provide, but however this has become a part of the scripting. Okay, so any authentication transactions, right, this is what we keep seeing, that is it will have some dynamic values, and these dynamic values are sent by the servers, and uh, while scripting we would need to handle this. Okay, so how do we handle? So there are different steps, right? So there is auto correlation, automatic configuration, manual correlation, advanced correlation, all of those things. Okay. So for now, I will just quickly and majority of the issues, right? Um, Not like issues, like 80% of the script development is just associated with handling this dynamic values. Okay, so it is very important, it is a core part of any scripting. Okay, without handling correlation we won't be able to proceed, and if we just handle correlation, 80% of the scripting is completed. That is how it is. Okay, so let's proceed. So how do we work with this, right? So let me show you how autocorrelation works. Okay, so I will just duplicate this. Okay, I'm just going to make this as something like this, AC autocorrelation. We will be discussing about this further in detail as we progress, right? So again there will be another recording where we will do a end-to-end transaction. This is just for like initial understanding purpose. Okay, I'm just doing it. So you see this, there is a search for dynamic parameters, this option. So if we click on this, the same set of option, like as soon as we complete the recording, we will get this post recording wizard, right? So it is best that we do not apply any autocorrelation over there because we need the original recording. Okay, this we will also discuss in the standards when we are looking at the scripting phases and standards, best practices. When we are discussing those topics, we'll be discussing, right, why we have to skip this step, right? But for now we will continue with this, right, autocorrelation. So I've just clicked on this search for dynamic parameters. I am clicking on next. So after clicking on next, it is saying like there is no framework rules has been found. So if you see what are these rules, right? Rules are like it will have certain patterns or it will have certain constraints. So this will work within that. Okay. um, and by clicking on next, now this is started searching for the dynamic parameters. Okay. So something. Okay, so just let's allow access whenever we get this option. And now this has completed its search, and it is saying the request is actions accounts account dot action. Under this, these are the two parameters that NeoLoad has identified, saying that a potential dynamic parameters. that can be correlated. Okay. For now, since my intention is to do this autocorrelation itself, so I'll click on this apply changes and then click on finish. Okay. So after clicking on finish, let's go back to the same. So I will just open this request also. Okay. This is the original request, how we saw. After applying of autocorrelation, this is how this has become. Okay. We will further discuss, we will deep dive into this autocorrelation and what happened here, right? So the request type itself got changed, and it is extracting values from the previous request. We will be discussing in detail as we progress, but first, so this is how simple it is. Like, if we want to use autocorrelation with few clicks of button, this script is done now. Okay. So if I simply replay this, I think folks who have worked with load runner or other tools, they know what is correlation and how this has done. So let's see, like, so I'm just replaying this. Okay. To replay this, see this, right? There is a human icon or user. Okay, this is called as user icon, user with a tick mark. Okay, this is used for checking the user path. Okay. One default option that what we have to do is we have to go to this advanced option and then change this handle cache to new user. Click OK and then click on start checking. So this should run without any errors, or maybe there could be some error with icon or maybe something else, but most likely we shouldn't have face any issues. Okay, this has run. Let's look at this account.action. Okay, and I'm just going to this variables. Okay, so if we see this here, right, a different set of source page. Okay, this dynamic value and this dynamic value also is getting generated and it is being handled. To clearly verify this, what I'm doing is I'm going to this advanced option and then running this for multiple iterations. So click on start checking. The first iteration is done, second is running, third. Okay, now let me directly select this variables. Okay, so as you can see, the dynamic value is being handled, and for we have also validated for multiple iterations. So once we complete the scripting, so it's one of the standard is we run this for multiple iterations so that we are very sure that these dynamic values are getting created properly and then it gets passed on the subsequent requests. So that's how simple it is to uh, work with autocorrelation and work with authenticate authentication transactions. Okay, fine. I would like to open this open the floor for questions. Anybody have any questions? Can can shoot. You can also use a chat box. Or if anybody wants to move to a troubleshooting session, I can do it. Sunil, are you? Would you like to go?
Can I share my screen?
Yes, I'm making you a presenter. I think yeah, I made you a presenter. You can go ahead and then share your screen. I can see your screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's recorded.
Okay.
It's recorded. But I just run it showing error now. So,
Uh,
license,
See, what you are trying to do is you are trying to execute. You're trying to
yes,
do
yes,
the execution. Okay. But
yes,
you want to check the validate this script, right?
yes, yes, yes.
So close this. Okay. You have to click on that user with a tick icon. Should not click the play button. No, just above. Yes. You have to click on this. Now go to advanced. Okay, you have to change this handle cache to new user. Okay, so this will allow us to simulate new user every time instead of a
Yeah.
recorded content. Okay, so you can just click on OK. Now click on start checking, you will be able to see it. Okay, so this error, why you are getting this error is because I think your system has a very less memory. Okay, can
Yeah.
you go to task manager? Can uh, you can right click your taskbar and click on task manager.
One second.
Uh, no, no. Yes, you can click on that. You will not find it here. What I'm saying is you have to right click on your taskbar.
Yeah.
No, no. Your taskbar is somewhere. You see this, there is a command prompt right near. Yeah, you right click there. Yeah. Click on start task manager. Yes. Go to processes. Processes, second tab. Sorry, go to performance. Okay, you have 8 gigs of RAM, but free is just 1.5 GB. Can you go to processes now? Sort memory in descending order. There is a memory, right? Fourth option, fourth tab. You just click there. Yeah, fine. So yes, yeah, it is. So what I would suggest is already the laptop is having less memory. It is best you close all the Chrome. I can see a majority of your running processes is occupied by Google Chrome. So it is best we stop. I mean, move from Google Chrome to there is Brave browser, right? Because Google Chrome uh, consumes a lot of memory. So you have to close all the Chrome instances and then restart your NeoLoad and then try checking the user path. This should work. If this doesn't work,
Okay.
we can connect tomorrow also. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay then. Right. I can. So anybody has any questions? I would like to answer. You can also use chat box. If nobody has questions, we can wrap it up of today's sessions. We'll be having more demo sessions tomorrow. We will continue. So tomorrow we will be discussing on more about checking the user path, and maybe assertions we'll also discuss. Okay. And thank you everyone. Thanks for joining. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you.